Hello, how are you? Expect me to blabber about random stuff for 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, maybe 4.5 minutes. It sort of just depends on the situation, really. Now, what I will say is that we're now in the Chinese New Year. That means there's a 15-day celebration for the New Year, and today is day one. And the celebrations are very interesting and elaborate. So, from now until the 20th, being the end of Aquarius, is without a doubt the highest watch time frame I've ever seen, ever since I've been trying to decode iPad Go 2 since 2017. This one beats the cake. And basically, anything's possible. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't wanna jinx it, okay? It's already hideous enough as it is. But I just wanted to say, Aquarius coming soon. I mean, ending soon. Why did I say coming soon? Made no sense. All right, we have one person here. So, in terms of, so what's happening right now, though, so for the person that's here, I'm talking about random stuff for 3-4 minutes. So, what's happening now is that alliances are taking place. Hungary is aligning with Russia, and it seems like there is like some kind of build-up being placed in terms of who's going to take whose side. China announced that it's going to be on... China is always on Russia's side. Give me a break, China. Nigel! Guess what we're talking about today? We're going to ask a very difficult question, Nigel. Are you ready? This is going to be a mind screw because I don't think I've ever asked this question. I made 500 million videos about the Mandela effect, but there's this particular question that bothers me so much that we need to address, I think. How are you two doing? Hi, Angel. I see you guys are really protesting there in Canada. That's good. And your president seems to be in denial or something, right? She's like running away. Hey, OG. What's up? Yeah, it's awesome. It does look awesome. It's empowering is what it is, you know? Us Americans over here are looking at you guys with a lot of pride, you know? Hey, Chained, how's it going? All right. It's not even 4 minutes, already 5 people here. That's what I like to see. So then I'll just, let's go into the questions then. We might as well, right? You guys we are too divided. We are way too divided on everything. It's crazy. That's not good. It's not good at all. Like, it feels, you could feel it too. You could feel the divisiveness everywhere. It's so present. It's like this energy in the air. I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's like a barrier between people or something. It's crazy. Where somebody, Oceania, 1984. Yeah, 1984. So, what are we asking today? We're asking the question, why? So, okay, first of all, I want to address fear is the mind killer, OG says. We got to stop fearing each other. Yeah, no doubt. Fear fear and worry doesn't solve anything, even though I find myself in fear and worrying sometimes, like people do naturally. It doesn't really solve anything. I mean, Okay, now I'm gonna start for real. All right, so, okay, Nelson Mandela. First of all, the Mandela effect isn't something new. Okay, I think that, these sort of reality glitches or whatever the hell they are have been around forever. I mean, basically, probably for eternity, as far as I know. Like, there are stories going back thousands of years of people, seeing what they claim to be alternate dimensions, not on any kind of drugs or anything, or just watch episodes of Unsolved Mysteries from the 90s. People shared stories that are similar to what we would call the Mandela effect, where, there would be like these phantom hotels or glitches in time, or they would go back in time or forward, like a lot of weird stories. So it's not anything new, right? However, I'm one of those people who knew about the Mandela effect since the 80s, OG. That's incredible. Maybe free will is what changes things, Angel says. But yeah, Angel also says, I have no idea why it starts with him. That's the question I'm asking. So, okay, look, so there was something that happened with him specifically that was like this major catalyst that sort of thrust forward this momentum of these huge changes whenever it was noticed that he was president of South Africa instead of being dead like he was supposed to be. And I wanted to really make the point that in the old world, there isn't a chance in hell he would have ever become president of South Africa. Now, why is that? Because this is going to be a little bit of a sensitive topic, right? We can't really talk about race on YouTube, right? Well, because he was considered by the state to be like basically a terrorist. And to be honest, he kind of was. Like, yes, he was a revolutionary. Yeah, he's done plenty of good things, but he also bombed parliament buildings. He also murdered lots of people. He did a lot of terrible things too, and that's why he went to prison for life. So it made no sense for him to become president, even though, and obviously there's no justification for the apartheid. It was an evil regime. No, you're not late. I just started like 8 minutes ago. Well, I guess by my standards, that's kind of late. So what I'm trying to say is that it makes no sense for him to have become president just by his actions and what he was convicted for and the crimes that he committed. And yes, I want to reiterate that I don't think that apartheid was good, and that regime was so screwed up and so evil, and the repression and the injustice was very real. All right. And I understand why he was a revolutionary and why he wanted to take that system down. But he did it in an incredibly violent way. So then one day we wake up and it turns out he's president, right? He's president of South Africa. All right, let's see what you guys say in the chat about this, because that was the point of the stream. I wanted to ask you guys why the Mandela effect started with Nelson Mandela. Why is Nelson Mandela so important in this process? Because he is, and I will prove to you that he is, because of a video that CERN came out that you guys probably saw, that we'll talk about in a few minutes here. He is important in this whole thing. So let's go to the chat. He was the head of the ANC who was determined to rid South Africa of white people. Yes. Stuff we can't talk about on YouTube, but we're going to anyway, because who cares? And Mackenzie says, every record has been destroyed or falsified. And Every book rewritten, every picture has been repainted, every statue and street building has been renamed, every date has been altered. George Orwell said that in 1984? Oh, that is something. That is really eye-opening right now. And then Nigel says, then he supposedly negotiated with the whites to become president. Sure, they're going to negotiate, right? Even today, like, there's a ton of strife and problems in South Africa. It's still in many ways basically an apartheid today. My manager's from South Africa. Okay, I do know people from there. It's kind of like, yes, things change, but it's more like an illusion of change, So, let's see here. Did you read it? Oh, yeah, I definitely read 1984. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Thanks for being here. We're asking the question why Nelson Mandela is so important, why that character is so important in thrusting the momentum that became the Mandela effect. I started to question CERN when the mysterious Norway spiral appeared. Yes, I remember the Norway spiral. I remember it was around 2009, which is actually around the same year when Nelson Mandela was first noticed, meaning that he was not dead like he's supposed to be, like obviously should have been the case. My theory doesn't answer your question, why him, but if we died, I've had several NDEs. Did we jump realities? I've had an NDEs as well. Did we cross consciousness? We might be living in multiple realities. Oh yeah, no doubt. We actually just talked about that on Sunday. We were actually just discussing that very idea, how we literally, each individual person could be in their own earth for all we know. And I'm not. That is very possible. I personally don't think that's what's happening, but why rule that out? Why rule anything out at this point? That just doesn't make any sense. So, or are we doing a life review currently? That's interesting. I actually kind of do a little mini life review on a daily basis. Kind of like at the end of the day, I reflect on the day. Well, I think a lot of people do that though. So what video am I talking about, guys? Okay, I don't know exactly the year this came out. I think it was around 2015 though, when the same year that the Gothard Tunnel ceremony happened. So the Gothard Tunnel, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, was the construction of, I believe, the longest railway tunnel in the world in Switzerland. And that's all great and good, I guess. But the problem was this incredibly bizarre and creepy ass ceremony. The opening ceremony for this tunnel had a lot of, I gotta say it had a lot of similarities to the cartoon iPad Go 2. Very much the same themes, a phoenix rising out of the ashes, a goat god, this sort of same idea basically of a deity. Okay, so, there's other people here. I didn't even notice. Hold on. Oh, Rafa, hi, welcome. Yes, we're multidimensional. We exist on many different timelines. Yeah, I'm open to it all. I remember the national football team coach dying just a few days ago. I found out he's still alive, and that's from being a national hero. He's gone to everybody hating him now. What? Which national, for where, what country? I'm really curious. Yeah, CERN dance video. I was going to talk about that video, but not yet. That was the other one I was going to talk about. Yeah, famous people in here, yeah. So, remember the video where it was made by CERN, where you had a CERN scientist holding up a sign that said Bond number 1 Mandela. And Bond number 1 was a reference to the first James Bond. And the first James Bond, the actor who played him, his first name was Nelson. So basically he was holding up a big sign that said Nelson Mandela. And here's the thing. I don't believe for 1 minute that CERN's, or okay, maybe a substantial percentage of CERN scientists don't know what the hell is going on. They probably are just researching particle colliders, but I can't believe that there's just no possible way that the top scientists don't know what they're really doing, because they're taunting us with a ridiculous video like that. They're shoving it in our face. And this came out like 7 years ago, this all right, Loyalty says, I think everyone who's native to the Orion realities is nitrogen based and died or passed away when they shifted to Sagittarius, or oxygen based. So who's native, you think? Wait, so are you saying that our original selves died and we shifted into this Orion Earth? Because that is confirmed. We mentioned this on the last stream, that we are on the Orion arm of the galaxy. So this is absolutely correct. Chris says, I can say there's a weird synchronicity with the CERN video. There is a 007 Nelson reference, and people took it to be the first Bond. The original 007 was John D. Queen Elizabeth, its magician. Wow. No, that's true. I remember that. Yeah. That is super interesting. Okay, Loyalty says oxygen-based Earth would cause a nitrogen-based being to explode or combust. Yeah, wow. Okay, so but that kind of points to my question though. So are you basically saying the people who shifted to this Earth, are we not in our original bodies? So did we shift our consciousness onto the Orion Earth? Or what happened since we technically died back there? We just don't remember dying for whatever reason. Probably so that we could continue thinking everything is normal, but everything is far from normal, and we all know that. That's why we're here talking about this. So yeah, I think our counterparts from Orion died originally. Interesting. Yeah, John Dee was a black magician. Yeah, I know who he was. I did read about him, who summoned demons. Much of his work was resurrected by Aleister Crowley. Yeah, he was an interesting character, to say the least. So, okay, so it's really bothering me a lot, guys. You know, you have this really taunting, in your face, just ridiculous sign with a ridiculous video pointed at us, Bond number one Mandela. And this was years ago, but that doesn't mean it's not significant, because it's very significant. And why him? Like, do you think that Nelson Mandela represents, like, do you think that that particular figure represents some sort of massive quantum shift, or his archetype represents some sort of powerful quantum force that allows shifts to happen, as opposed to maybe other, like, okay, like, why not Mahatma Gandhi? Why, like, as far as I know, I looked into him, and everything I remember from childhood about him is still the same. So, or Mother Teresa, although I did hear people did tell me that Mother Teresa did have some Mandela effect changes related to her, but I'm not sure about that. So if you know, though, please let me know. He was who Nelson Mandela was, really? He was a perv? I think we were moving backwards in time, heading to the garden. Oh yeah, that's super interesting. OG Wu says, I'm definitely not in my OG avatar. I was 5'9", scrawny, and flat-chested. I'm complete opposite now. Now 5'5", a natural 34D, impossible. She was an awful person. Oh yeah, no, I heard she did do some weird things. Perhaps they were alluding to Ian Fleming, who wrote Bond. He was high up in the Secret Service. Yeah, I heard Gandhi did terrible things too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not focused on, like, their characters right now, though. I'm just asking the question, what is so freaking significant about Nelson Mandela? Is he like, does he represent like somehow the coming? Oh my gosh, no, that's probably taking things way too far. I was gonna say, is he like an archetype for the Antichrist? But that just sounds stupid, so I'm just not gonna say that. Um, it's just weird, guys. And then, yeah, that other video. So I'm gonna read your comments in a second. If I don't pay attention to the driving right now, I'll crash and fall off a cliff right now. So just give me a second. Uh, so yeah, the other video where they're dancing around Kali, right? The CERN scientists, and all those guys don't know what's going on, right? They're just, oh yeah, let's just put up a statue of an Indian goddess and pretend like it's just a cool symbol, bro. Yeah, it's all, it makes no sense. Somebody has to know what's going on. And granted, okay, it's not like CERN is like this tiny facility. I mean, first of all, it's like 15 miles in diameter, 500 feet underground, the most powerful magnet in the world. There's, I think, 30,000 people that work at CERN directly or indirectly. I mean, 30,000 people. Of course, a lot of those people are... Of course, the janitor is not going to know what's going on. Even like the scientists that check, like, if the electronics are working, if the software is working, if the computer systems and networking maybe they don't know a damn thing also. Okay, but why make a video of them dancing around freaking Kali, and then the Empire State Building, the art project Kali, which I saw with my own eyes when I lived in New York, and I talked about that before. And now I'll read your comments. All right. Loyalty says, when people were dying in the 80s and 90s from spontaneous combustion, I think those people were the first wave of Mandela affected from Orion realities. Whoa. Or you mean not Orion, or because we were from, you mean the Sagittarius realities into Orion? That is seriously mind-blowing though. And we did talk about spontaneous combustion on the last stream, and how it seems to have like vanished off the face of the earth, like it never even existed, when it was like an obsession in the 90s where every third show was talking about it. OG Woot says CERN might be a huge Fugazi too, like NASA. Oh yeah. Yeah, it might be. It might be just some... And look, I'm sure they are doing normal things too. I'm sure they are actually just crashing particles together and doing regular experiments as well. Whatever you consider to be regular, right? And Nigel says, he represented the first big switcheroo. He came out of prison and was not the same man who went to jail. Maybe he was the first clone. Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought about the clone idea. Mandela was iconic. He was iconic, very iconic. He was, a global figure. I mean, in school, he was talked about frequently. He was very famous, no doubt about it. I guess he is considered to be partially responsible for taking down the apartheid. There were several particle colliders in the USA now, Brookhaven, Long Island. Oh, and speaking of Long Island, there is Plum Island off the coast of Long Island that does some bizarre animal experimentation, by the way. So I'm not surprised that they have a particle accelerator there. There's also one near Chicago. They're building more. I know they're building many of them. Yeah, CERN is just the tip of the iceberg. Actually, I heard there's plans to build one even bigger than CERN, which is just nuts. I think oxygen-based beings can survive for the most part in a nitrogen-based environment, but it could lead to eventual problems health-wise. It's an unknown territory. Yeah, that's interesting. That's like seriously one of the most interesting things I've ever heard. Like, you just blew my mind right now. I would have never thought of that in a million years, about the shift into the Orion Earth and then nitrogen oxygen situation. Brian Sanchez says the most memorable Mandela effect for me was the fruit of the loom. Yeah, that's one of my most memorable ones as well. I have extremely vivid memories, actually a little bit too vivid, and I did talk about this before. I like where I've noticed a pattern where these things that used to exist, I have abnormally vivid memories of them as opposed to other things. So, for example, you know how you see a million commercials in your life? I don't have a great memory of most of those commercials for obvious reasons, but I can remember as if it was yesterday when I was about 9 years old, sitting with my brother and watching a commercial for Shazam. Like it was like literally as clear as day. It's like one of the best memories of my life. Another memory related to the fruit of the loom, what Brian just said. I was literally only 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 in Brooklyn, New York, going to a store, a clothing store with my mom. And she was picking out like fruit of the loom stuff. That was like the section. And I remember standing there and staring at the logo. I mean, when I say staring, I mean staring for what felt like forever. Why would I remember something so like just a normal life moment? Oh, you're just going shopping for some clothes. But I remember it. 5 years old, as clear as day. But why? And Rafa says, I believe it's Shiva. Oh, I'm sorry, Shiva. You know, it's Shiva, but Kali's involved here as well, and a bunch of other deities too. So they're all putting their ritual together. you know, Chris says, I think the dance of Shiva represents the idea that, uh, represents the idea that the past, present, and future are all happening now in some way. Yeah, the symmetry video was very strange. They like to hint at what they know. Yeah, that video and then the Bond Mandela one. It's not only just hinting at what they know. They are I think they are taunting the population. They are literally shoving it in your face, like to see if you could see it or not. And Annie says, we're in the real judgments of Revelation chapter 6. Seems to be that way. It seems like Revelation cards are being played for sure. Are you from Orion originally? Oh, I'm definitely from Sagittarius, if you want to call it that. There's no doubt about that. If that is what happened, okay, nobody knows 100%, but okay, if we did shift into another constellation of Earth in another time, I would definitely say I'm from Sagittarius because I remember my in school being taught that we were in the outer arm of the Milky Way, far from the center, and in the middle of nowhere in galactic terms. And now we're not very far from the black hole of the Milky Way. We are way closer to the center of the galaxy, which, yeah, let's just say I'm from Sagittarius. They paraded Mandela around like he was a trophy. And Nelson Mandela was a tyrant, and he says. Nigel says Mandela was a clone puppet. He could have been. Hey, I'm not ruling that out. For sure. OG says mosquitoes filled with Lyme's disease were created at Plum Island. Yeah, I remember that story. Then tracked by infection reported to hospitals. My nephew has it. Oh, wow. Do you live on Long Island? I'm just curious because I lived in New York for a long time. Um, CERN is a time machine warp speed. Time machine warp speed. Yeah, like Back to the Future, right? Is that what you're referring to, Annie? So they jump into the future to change it so that they can change the now so that they can make the future what they want. That's definitely seems very plausible. Trump is Biff from yeah. Oh yeah, you must have seen Enter the Stars, the channel, because I remember him talking about it, or other people as well. But Enter the Stars had some really brilliant things to say about. Also, a channel called Theology Ed. He also talked about the Back to the Future stuff as well, and I think they're spot on in some ways. Yeah, Hiram Abiff. OG Wu lived in Lived in Connecticut, got Lyme. Weird. Oh, Mackenzie. Oh, wow. All right, Loyalty says, I'm concerned for the affected from the Orion realities suddenly getting shifted to Sagittarius. That would be a good thing. And I'm wondering if there is anything to counteract the combustion issue. That's a good question. Like, if we switched from there, what is it like over there? But what if that planet got destroyed completely? What if there was a cataclysm and it's no longer there? At least in what we think of as now time. I mean, of course it's still there in terms of timelessness, but if we're talking about what we think of as time, what if something happened on that earth? I can't rule that out. We can't rule that possibility out. That's definitely part of it, possibly. Mackenzie said, did you know that Plum Island is now in Manhattan, Kansas? No. Interesting. So they decided to move to the middle of the country. That's interesting. Oppenheimer used Kali as an excuse for that. Yeah, I read some of Oppenheimer's stuff and I watched some videos about him, and he was in deep regret for building that thing. And he says, I'm an old Sagittarius. I believe it. No, but Australia is 100 miles. Yeah, it is. It's closer. And last stream, somebody asked why we don't talk about the Earth changes. Oh, there's a big ass coyote right there. Can you see him? Hey, come here. Oh, there's two of them. Come here. Hang out with me. Be my friend. Sorry, I got distracted. Lots of raccoons and coyotes here. Anyway, I think it's Saturn worshiped the ring. Philly. Okay, yeah, I know. My dad lives in Pennsylvania in Harrisburg. I know that state very well. I even lived in Scranton for a short time. They're killing the earth as fast as they can. It seems to be that way. It really does. Terraforming. We're in a time prison. Oh God, I hope not. I mean, I think that time is imprisoned, but whether we are in a time prison, I'm not. Yeah, that's a depressing thought. Anyway, I'll go on for 5 more minutes. So, strange, isn't it? Strange how Mandela is so important in this equation for whatever reason. It might have also had something to do with nothing with anything that he's done, but he could be the incarnation of some important deity we don't know about, like Kali, or what. Hey, who's to say that these weird beings can't take on human form? Hey, whoever said they can't? I think that's ridiculous. I think there are strange gods that live among us and strange beings that you would never think. There are some humans out there that you look at them and you're like, this person's an alien. And maybe Mandela was one of them. So maybe for that reason, maybe he has a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of soul energy, and he was able to kind of jump time, jump realities, and he was like the butterfly effect, so to speak, that brought on that sort of big tidal wave of changes, or the shift into Orion, or the shift into Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse future, or the shift into the earth that allows the birth of the Antichrist to be more easily accessible for him to be here as opposed to the old earth. All of it's possible. All of it's probably true. Oh man, All right, any final thoughts, anybody? Or are we good? Except that we're not. We got a real mystery in our hands. We got a real life, gigantic mystery on our hands. And it's only going to get stranger, I think, and stranger. So, all right. Everyone just disappeared at the same time. So I guess I'll just go. Oh, wait. Thanks for making me feel sane for a few. Hey, you are sane. We are the sanest of them all, as a matter of fact, because it's not magic mirror on the wall, it's mirror on the wall. We are the most sane. We are good until we aren't. Chris says the one good thing about reality being so changeable is that maybe we absolutely can change it. Our spirits are stuck in animal skins. That's interesting. I got kicked off. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. I'm sorry. It does happen to people. Animal skins. Yeah, that's super interesting. Like everyone does. I got to think about that one. That really made me think just now. It is. I mean, we are. This is an animal skin. It has all these unpleasant things to it attached to it. Okay, I'm gonna go T minus 30 seconds. All right, I manifest daily, getting better and better. Yeah, no, we can change things. It's not all bad. It's not all dark. There's good to it, of course. Didn't mean this to be a negative stream at all. I literally just want to know what the hell is so important about Mandela. That's all. Yeah, I'm learning that humanity is more vast than yeah. Oh yeah, we're infinitely vast. He is the potter and we are the clay. Take care, guys. You have a good night.